What's up, beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap content. This is my recap slash review for We Own This City Part 2. Another awesome episode. I really, really enjoyed it through all the triggers, okay? But they are pretty much just giving us a visual what really goes down and not just in Baltimore, everywhere, okay? So, you guys, please drop down in the comments and share your thoughts on this episode, and let's get into this recap, okay? So we see Wayne over there locked up, but he's still cocky. He talking about he gonna sue the city if he misses his son's little league game or whatever. I'm like, Wayne, come on now, you ain't getting out, bruh. He claims it's just a mix up and he's gonna be getting out soon. I'm like, ooh, denial, okay? He over there just getting transported to the interrogation room, and he's being real like just like his attitude is on 100, okay? And he's looking at the camera like, "Ugh, my time is very valuable, okay? Get this show on the road." This man is a piece of work, okay? But he think he getting out, child. But yeah, we get this flashback to 2003. So apparently, this is his rookie year, and we're seeing him, just fresh face, most likely out of the academy. And yeah, he meets his officer, in training. I forgot the actual term, but yeah, his training officer, and he's letting him know, like, whatever you learned out in that police academy, throw it out the window, bruh. We don't go by these rules over here, okay? This is Baltimore, all right? And his trainer got the like thickest hood accent I've ever seen on a Caucasian man, okay? Like, he is of these streets, all right? I had to like squint my eyes a few times, like, this coming out his mouth. Oh gosh, but yeah, the lieutenant, he's holding a meeting. He's telling everybody, yeah, today is the day. We locking everybody up. Anybody that's on them streets gotta go. They're going downtown. Book them, Danny. Okay, no ifs and buts about it. And so, I'm like, ooh, y'all locking everybody up. Okay. So we see them on the street and they're locking everybody up. And I guess, they're showing the reasons because the mayor wants to make sure the numbers are down. Okay, the murder rate needs to be down. Therefore, they want to make sure nobody's on the street killing or being killed. All right. And we see everybody just being locked up, and we hear a little girl in the background like, "We ain't do nothing." I'm like, "Just hilarious. Is that you?" Like, it sounded just like her, but I know that's a Baltimore thing. I know she ain't the only one that says "do" and "two" and all that, but it was cool. It was cool hearing that and whatnot. All right. So yeah, y'all. The corruption. So we're flashing back, of course, to present day, 2017. And Wayne, he's done being interrogated, and he crosses paths with Jamel, one of the other crooked cops, in his, department, what have you. And he's pretty much low key telling him, like, snitches get stitches, okay? Like, don't say nothing. Keep your mouth shut. He's like, all right, I'm whatever. And so we see Ram, he's in the interrogation room and he look like he ain't stressing. I'm like, okay, Ram. So we cut to the civil rights office with Nicole, and apparently there's a rapper called Young Moose, and he has a song out. He's calling out your boy Herschel, okay? He is over it. Herschel is infamous out there in them streets, okay? And so she was like, interesting. Like, Herschel really got a name, like a name big enough for these rappers to be mentioning. So she, takes her coat. And of course, we know she about to be gone for the rest of the day, okay? Nicole stays busy, all right? So we see, the cops there investigating Anderson. And of course, he trying to play dumb or what have you, but the feds was like, we found some heroin on your boat. You're like 2 years ago, and you got off. So now we trying to play up. Don't play with us. We need information, all right? So she's like, what do you know about Shropshire? He was like, he used to be my connect, but I let him go. He had his boys rob me. That's when my door is all messed up, and that's why I've been hiding at the Red Roof Inn. I'm like, oh, don't remind me the Red Roof Inn. Ooh. Mm. Ooh, bad taste in accommodations, my boy, but I'm gonna let that go. Okay, you're a drug dealer, so you may not be that picky, okay? So he was like, I don't know much, but I do know Shropshire is cool with somebody he grew up with, okay? And apparently this person works in narcotics, okay? And his name is yeah, G Money. I'm like, oh boy, G Money, he just been, popping up all over the scene. All right. So we see Lord Jamel, he being questioned about the whole robbery for Anderson. Okay. And the boy's singing like the Canaries. He's singing like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Like he's singing like everybody. Okay, he's giving up all the information. Okay, he is not holding back. He wants to make a deal. Okay, and not like the game show. Like he wants the real deal. All right. So he's explaining the whole situation about the robbery and how Gondo he remained in the car because he did not want to risk being seen because it's possible that Anderson may have seen him with, Shropshire, aka Brill. So, he's trying to keep a low profile, if you will. So we see Andrea, okay? She's one of the feds. And she low-key, pretty much advises McDougal and Kirkpatrick to put a wire on Gondo's you know, his phone because Anderson told them like, hey, this is kind of how he operates his business. So, they're, trying to do some police work, all right. So Nicole, she asked, Young Moose's lawyer, like, hey, can I talk to Young Moose? Like, I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers. I'm not trying to lock him up. I just need some information on the boy Hurstville, okay? So I'm a good cop, okay? Don't be scared of me. So he was like, okay, well, if you don't want to be on the record, you gotta abide by that. She's like, okay, cool. I'm just trying to get some information, all right? So we see Detective Suter, aka Marlo, all right? He's over there with his partner. They're in the garage looking for a vehicle. And we see Cocky Gondo, okay? He pulling up. And he was like, hey, Suter, what's up, homie? Like, what's going on? Of course, Suter, he gives him a little handshake or whatever, but he giving him the same look he gave your boy Jenkins, okay? And he's looking like, yeah, he ain't about nothing either. So he see, I love this actor. He's definitely giving the facial expressions, okay? He's acting without words, all right? That's a real actor, okay? So Gondo, he thought he was in the same department, as he previously was. He was like, I'm in, homicide right now. He was like, homicide? You don't make no money over there, like, And so Suter's partner was like, well, how you make your money? He was like, overtime, okay? I makes the money, okay? I'm like, you blowing up the whole spot. You snitching on yourself like you real cocky, bruh. Like, I'm gonna need you to pipe down and not tell all your business because you never know who could be snitching on you, right? But of course, it seems like you've been doing this for way too long to where the ship is not tight, all right? So, Suter also mentions like, hey, we used to work plain clothes together. So Suter, he has a relationship with all these crooked cops, okay? And it looks like he was the one who decided to fly right. So we have a meeting with the feds, IAD, the local PD, and the cops in the outskirts. So they're discussing, the whole G Money situation, and yeah, they need to do further surveillance because it looks like his hands are pretty dirty. All right. And then we see Suter. He gets assigned to his first murder case and is actually a civilian. And he looks like, he was actually trying to build a fence to save his family from the random gunshots in the neighborhood. So it looks like it's going to be some shady dealings going on with this murder situation, but we just going to have to stay tuned for that. So we see Team Irish, aka Kirkpatrick and McDougal, okay? They're, following your boy Brill, okay? He at the airport. He getting flew out, all right? And so he's actually leaving his vehicle, so they find the great time of putting a tracker on his vehicle. I'm like, yes, I'm loving the police work, okay? So one of the feds found a report because they're doing all the research on your boy G Money, okay? And so she noticed that Officer Ryan reported a situation where he saw G Money and Brill, and they, seemed very friendly. It was seems like an encounter that was a little too friendly for his likings, okay? And so he, reported it because, your boy G Money was telling his partner, like, in Ryan, like, hell, this dude is a saint, okay? And Ryan knew that Brill was out there selling that cocaine, and that heroin or whatever. So he was like, he is not a stand-up guy. So I know something is off. And he was like, when your gut tell you something ain't right, that's why I had to report it, okay? Because that something went clean in the milk. I'm like, okay, Ryan, you doing good police work, all right. And so Team Irish, they're on their wiretap assignment. They are getting all the equipment together. I'm like, oh my God, this is really like feeling like The Wire again. Like, I don't want to compare it. Of course, we know it's the same writers, but I just get those goosebumps. Like, oh my God, police work. Normally, I don't be like all for. I mean, I do be for police work, but I'm definitely here for all of this. All right. So your girl Nicole, she interviews young Moose at this little diner, and she was like, what's going on? What's up with your boy Herschel? He was like, ever since I released that song, he's been coming at me hard. Okay, more charges, just more abuse, everything. And you know what? Your boy Herschel be stealing. She was like, stealing? He was like, yeah, he'll steal your stuff. He ain't the only one. I'm like, okay. Tell all the business, young Moose. Make that for your next track. How Herschel will be over there scamming and stealing from the folk. All right. So Nicole was like, thank you for the information. So they go their merry way. Then when she gets in the car, she gets a call from somebody. So I'm like, okay, who you getting the call from, girl? So we back at the wiretap situation, okay? And Team Irish over there, they listening to your boy Brills, aka Shropshire's phone calls. So they notice that the tracker is no longer moving. I guess it was deactivated. So he was like, okay, guess he found out about the tracker. And so they realize he's making a call at the same time. So they realize he is on the phone with G Money. So he's like, hey, the core is hot, okay? Like, there's a tracker on it. What should I do? He was like, let me think on it. What's going on here? He was like, yo, this an iPhone? Okay, hit me on FaceTime. So the call disconnects because apparently you can't track FaceTime calls, okay? And so they continue, I guess the conversation on FaceTime. Then they called each other again and finished the conversation. But the conversation that was caught on recording was incriminating enough to where what was the point of being on FaceTime? Like, that confused the hell out of me. Like, they was trying to figure out, like, hey, is Gondo getting lazy? Like, what was the point of that? Like, I was hella confused, y'all. If y'all can clarify that for me in the comments, please let us sister know, okay? Maybe I'm missing something here, but yeah, Gondo seems very sloppy, okay? But Brett was like, you know what? I'm just going to put this tracker on a civilian's car and, be on my merry way. Lord, it is a lot. So we see Nicole. She visits the officer at Leakin Park. It seems like a little boring park with, historical buildings and what have you. So apparently this cop was put there because, yeah, he know things ain't right with the department and he does not have a problem letting people know. So therefore, they assigned him to this, graveyard situation because, yeah, they don't like the snitches, okay? And so, he was like, hey, this is where they put me. When you talk against the police department, there are consequences, and this is my consequence. Boredom, all right? But he proceeds to tell her about this Reginald situation, and apparently, was a case where a young guy just got harassed and did not need to be. All right. We're going to, forward that a little later. So we're back in 2003. Okay. And so Jenkins is learning the numbers game from his partner. Okay. His partner is telling him, yo, the more people you arrest, the more money you make. And you also get bonuses and get money from court appearances. So he was like, at first, like, okay. He never really seemed opposed to it, but you could tell, like, some light bulbs are coming in, because they had a situation where they hemmed up 3 guys. They found weed on one. And so his partner was like, let's lock them all up, Danny. More money, more money, more money. And so, you can see, your boy Jenkins was like, okay, this is how it works. So in the next scene, they see him at this barbecue, and apparently there's an officer that's decorated there, and his gift to the barbecue, Wayne's gift, is a bucket of crabs. Okay. And so apparently these crabs took a long time, and yeah, they set your boy back 42 of the dollars. All right. And so the decorated officer was like, those crabs ain't working. They're a little too small. Look over here to my situation, okay? We got lobster tails. We got all of the big seafood pieces up in here, bro. Like, get like me. And so it was kind of interesting just seeing, how Wayne is kind of struggling financially. He's not, making a lot of money. $42 is setting your boy back at this point. So I think they put that tidbit in there to let us know, like, the psychology and the reasonings behind some of his decision making in the future. All right. So we see Wayne on the beat, and he is becoming Yeo Pro, scamming the system. Okay. He's like, yes, we locking all y'all up. I don't care if one person guilty, 5 of y'all is going to jail. Okay. Because he needs to run those numbers up. And it's just interesting. Like, this stuff really goes on. It's sad. So we get into this Samuel situation. The guy that Nicole has been speaking with, the police officer, was saying he witnessed a situation with, I believe, Reginald Samuel, and he was a young kid, maybe 16 or so, walking. He had on a hoodie. The cops surrounded him and began to harass him. And they did find a knife on him, but he said, hey, I just came from work. This is a high crime area, as you guys are aware. And yeah, this is to protect myself just in case. And so they didn't want to hear it. They roughed him up. And yeah, it was very unfortunate. And I'm like, whoo, trigger, trigger, trigger. Okay. So Jamal over there still singing in the interrogation room, y'all. And he's snitching on Alders, and we saw his superior, his sergeant, and apparently he wanted them too. Okay, he is one of the greedy ones, stealing from the city and whatnot, and stealing from the taxpayers. All right, and so apparently he's the head of DEA, and so when Jamal told the feds that, it was like a little taken aback. It was like, him too. Okay. He was like, you realize sergeants and those people, they pushing paperwork. They are an admin. They are not getting overtime like we are. So of course they expect a cut out of what we're stealing too. And he was like, this whole system is corrupt. Okay. Because when I got caught up in the situation, I was suspended with pay. Okay. And when I got off suspension, they put me in the most crooked department. How could I not steal? Like, how? And I'm like, I guess. I mean, if you would have been flying right, you could have, did something else. But I guess, what can you do? What can you do? Okay. So we see in 2005. So now this is 2 years after, your boy Jenkins has been in the force. And we see him training a new guy. Pretty much like the previous scene where he was being trained. He's telling this guy, whatever you learned in the department, it don't fly. We go by our own rules in Baltimore, okay? And yeah, I'm gonna show you the ropes. I was like, so we seeing the cycle of bad policing, and the training and all that, just all corruption. And it's just like, it's so eye opening, it's so entertaining, but it's so sad at the same time. Okay. And the last thing, y'all, we see Nicole over there. She meet up with your boy Herschel, okay? And your boy is killing the wings, okay? And I'm like, ooh, that sounds good, okay? So he at the bar. Of course, he not respecting her. He ends up shaking her hand with the sticky fingers. Of course, she played the cool, but I was like, oh, you real good, Nicole, because I would have cursed him out, okay? Like, come on, you little nasty little. You was just look at your fingers. You gonna shake my hand, bruh? Whew. Let me calm down, all right? But yeah, she was like, well, I just want to understand, like, what's going on. Like, I really want to understand how policing in Baltimore is, in real life. Like, I need for you to shine some light on it. But he was not trying to hear you, girl. And yeah, he already know. He already know. He got eyes watching him. And your time is up, Herschel. Okay. I am over you. Okay. Like, so you need to be getting some consequences ASAP pronto. All right. And yeah, the episode goes off with cocky behind Herschel. Right. It started off with cocky behind Wayne. And now we end with cocky behind Herschel. Okay. So you guys, I'm so excited about part 3. How are you guys feeling this show? Like, I really like it. I'm sad that it's only 6 episodes, but I'm going to appreciate it for what it's worth. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And yeah, let's talk in the comments. Toodles.